Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope John Oliver won't sue me for this. So today in this episode, I will be your host. We will turn things a little bit around here because as a gamification designer, I have been asked a lot about how I do my process, how this works. But actually, I want to take advantage of being here with a friend from childhood, where I can ask some questions that I've never had the opportunity to ask. And these questions are about the agency point of view, right? So, of course, for me as a gamification designer, I see everything, everything is doable, right? But whenever I try to work with an agency, there's a lot of apparent obstacles that in my mind, they shouldn't be so much obstacles to create these kinds of experience, but I notice they are, and the only way to understand them is to have actually someone that has an agency that has to work with a client really help me understand what are the challenges, the obstacles of creating gamified type events. So what I want to do right now is I want to ask you a first question. And the first question comes around one of the things that it's always bothering me. It's the idea of seeing how almost all live events are so alike each other, right? And why why is it so hard for an agency to come with different things? So you see the same booths, you have the AR, you have the prize wheel, you have all these things that resemble so much each other when agencies are about creativity and innovation. So why is it so hard to create innovation? Why is it so hard to surprise your clients?
Oh my God. Okay, I'll try not to cry. I've been a creative director in a live marketing agency in the United States for 15 years. And that is one of the biggest struggles we have always had, and we probably will have consistently through the next future. And one of the reasons that happens is because of the physical limitation and obstacles you just mentioned. Because think about if we were creating TV commercials, like you can literally come up with a new idea every other day and produce it. And there's a new commercial. And now you change the actors. Now make it about basketball, make it about football, make it about baseball, make it about kids, whatever. In live marketing, you have to actually produce physical spaces. You have constraints. So the equivalent of, you have 30 seconds to tell the story. Okay, you have 10 by 10 feet to make it happen. And then that limits a lot what you can do. And budgets, producing physical stuff involves vendors, a lot of things. I'm not saying producing commercial is easy. No way. That's super hard. But in the physical world, it's really hard to come up with new ideas. At the end, you interact with your customers, your clients in a physical space. Normally it's a table, there's a desk. There are not many ways you can actually come up with that. So that is one of the things, but it's so frustrating because it happened to me, and I was telling to a friend the other day that when the first 8 years of my career, I was like, oh my God, now I'm a senior designer, I'm a creative director, I'm going to build my new portfolio to show the world how much I've done. And I almost cried because a lot of the work I did looked the same. So nobody would care if I had done 1,000 times the same event, you know? So, and as live marketing agencies, sometimes you have to earn the trust of your client to really push it. And it takes time, and it takes a lot of things, luck, finding the right client, finding a lot of things to, okay, let me push it a little bit. So that is actually how you innovate is by challenging, by building trust with your clients and all that, and proving you're not stupid, you're not going to screw up their brand and all that. And then you get permission to do that. Other way to innovate is having a ton of money and a ton of budget. And if any of you agencies out there has a client who is willing to spend as much as they can every time you ask them, let me know. I'll send you my resume and all that, because the reality is with all the clients we've seen is budgets are tight and spaces are limited, and you have to be very creative how to deliver a similar experience in a different way every time. So that's one of the challenges we had.
Okay, it's more about resourcefulness in a way. Yeah. Okay, perfect. So second question. The second question is, So again, we are friends, and actually, how we started working in this project was because of my wedding, right?
Yes.
So I got married, and it was a big thing for me because I wanted to get married in a way that suited my wife and myself. We are big gamers, of course. Almost of these games have been purchased by my wife, not by myself. Well, no, it's actually 50-50. So we wanted to create something gamified for our wedding, right? And we created this whole, it's a live event of sorts, right? And you were there, you liked the idea, and you thought this idea could be pitched elsewhere, right? And you took a big risk here. I believe you took a big risk on thinking, okay, this is something I can sell to a more corporate environment. So when I did my wedding, people told me, okay, you could do something like this for other weddings. Yeah, I could see that kind of experience, ritualistic things, maybe working out. But pitching this to an agency, and you had the eyes of the agency, and this is what I really find interesting, that you leave this event as someone that have worked with agency, that has an agency, and pitch it to a client, saw how it worked, had some results. And I want to know from your perspective, after seeing this in like as a participant and then as an agency, if you would have to summarize what were the biggest impacts gamification had on those events, what are the things that you think that when you incorporate gamification into these events really come around as an agency, as the needs that you have as an agency? What are the things that you say, this solved for me, not for my client, what this solved for me, this?
Oh my God. Okay, so we had come from one of the most successful events we had produced. We had a lot of creative freedom and really knocked it out of the park. It was amazing, and the bar was set high. And then they started talking to us about that event, and it was an internal corporate event, 500 people from the same corporation in a hotel trade show room. Like, you all know how it works. And I don't know why it bit me. Like, I had been in your wedding like 2 months ago, and I'm like, what if we did this? And the momentum we had as an agency with this past event at CinemaCon in Caesar's Palace in Vegas gave us a little bit of the, okay, you have permission to suggest it because you have proven that you can do something on your own. Because Coca-Cola, we've been working with Coca-Cola for 15 years. And one of the things I tell to my clients all the time is it's very restrictive sometimes. You see Coca-Cola as a super versatile brand and all that. But actually, when it comes to branding, it's a very careful brand and you need to know it very well. So the freedom it goes to, I joke with them. I'm saying, do you want the logo red on white or white on red? So we went for this. And okay, we had the objectives. Yeah, this is something we want to activate. We want to do something special. Like live marketing agencies, when we have food and services clients, normally a lot of the efforts focus on sampling, but you're not going to be sampling Coke to a Coke employee. So, damn, what should we do? And then it hit me, okay, how about we gamify this and make it about the event, but we bring these elements. And to give you a fast forward view, because we've been talking about different components and on how it impacted each one of them. So the objectives of the client, the brief was, okay, we want to enhance connections. We want people to talk to each other. We want them to reach out to their leaders because there's generations. So that's where the values of legacy and growth and magic and all that came, because, okay, some of the people are retiring. Actually, the final day, 2 people were celebrated because they're retiring. But at the same time, there was this other guy that we talked about in a previous episode who was just hired that same week of the event. So it was like a massive gap between the youngest and the oldest guy. It was a brutal challenge, because one thing is to have it in your wedding as okay, we're your friends. I was like playing Dungeons and Dragons with you since we were kids. We actually built this first attempt of gamification consulting company a long time ago together. But now this was pitched to the corporate world, and I'll talk to you about the challenges later. But the outcome was like the networking was amplified like 100 times. It was insane. All the people were telling us, dude, I have never met so many people in one event my team is coming to me telling me about people they've met from other regions and how we can collaborate because they started trading stickers and all of a sudden they ended up talking about what they do and how they do it in their way. So actually we started seeing like results in a very like building the net of the division, because in companies such as Coca-Cola, this food and operating services, it's huge. So a lot of people didn't know each other. At the end, what they were telling us was, wow, this was mind-blowing how much we enhanced the connections, how fun it was for them, because let's face it, it's really hard to make a corporate event. Like a convention, oh my God, I have to go there. And actually, I'm not disclosing anything that I shouldn't, but part of the team, the organization team internally was, okay, it was a big view for us. Like they really care. Okay, let's make sure people are engaged. Let's make sure people are enjoying this. So they care about that. So they were thrilled by saying, okay, this is our success too, because our client was the organization, but the first client was the committee, the organization committee, and they were thrilled because, oh my God, people are having so much fun. Everybody's saying this is the best Coca-Cola event I've ever been to. And as an agency, that hearing so many times, okay, you guys have brought it to a next level. Now you have set yourself apart from other agencies. This is something we had never seen before. You're at a different level. That is what you want to hear. After seeing so many similar events and being frustrated because, oh my God, everything I do looks the same. And now being told by so many different people, oh my God, this is something unlike anything I've seen. You guys are a different thing. That's what you want to hear as a creative director in an agency.
Amazing. And I'm going to take your cue because you said I'm going to talk about challenges later. So I will give you the cue so you can talk about the challenges because, I was part of the team. Of course, I was far away from the front. You had to tackle the client directly. I was in my computer creating fun things that I show them to you, and that's where everything is stopped for me, right? So you brought me certain challenges that the client were giving to you because when they started seeing the design, things started to unravel, right? Like the uncertainty and the fear and the event is in 2 weeks, and what are we going to do with all these things? And I think it's a good moment to understand what are the main challenges that you need to actually embrace gamification as a service, as a service that you can promote with your clients, and not only from the sales pitch standpoint, not only from saying, okay, gamification is great, buy gamification from us, but actually in the process of designing and interacting with the client, showing them, okay, here are the mechanics, and we have 4 kinds of currencies and 5 kinds of badges and progression mechanics and all these craziness. So how did you tackle, what were the challenges around it?
Oh my God. You're bringing like PTSD memories. Oh my God. So
playing video games diminish PTSD.
Oh my God. Yeah, but no, this is not helping. So yeah, you said it. I was caught in crossfire between you and your amazing team and writers and storytellers and game designers, and everybody was coming with amazing ideas. And I was so happy the first time taking them to them, and then being punched in the face like the first attempt, like, whoa, hold on. These are not gamers. These are regular people. These are like executives. You cannot come with this cool concept. It looks amazing, but this is not what. So, and then coming back to you, no, we need to tone it down a little bit, and then, okay, let's try this way. It was a back and forth and ironically not too long because we didn't have a lot of time to pull this together. So that was another challenge. It wasn't helpful for us. I wish we had a long time to go back and forth. But after talking to them at the event, there was a lot of fear. Like a lot of fear because even though this was an internal event, this was interior facing, this wasn't going to public and all that. Their egos, their like reputations, a lot of things, and you still want your coworkers and your organization to have a good time and maintain the respect levels that they have for you. So if you come up with something too crazy, you fear you're gonna lose the respect, or this is too risky. Should I just put a prize wheel, or just some sort of small game and hope for the best? And maybe
A video game console in a booth.
exactly something like that, and say that's gamifying. So it was a ton of fear and a ton of things, and here again, it's I would say it is a lot easier for an agency to sell this concept to a client they have a lot of trust built with.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a long-standing relationship with this certain client and they know you do a good work, at least they're gonna know you're not gonna blow it, you know. So that helped us a lot. But education is key. The fact that you had your SOPs and the way you communicated to your previous or more gamification literate clients was different. And then me bringing, okay, let's translate this into a slide that I can show in a PowerPoint presentation, and then they can see it. Oh, okay. And they actually help you because now you can develop your mechanics in a more digestible way for the general public, which was one of the challenges you had before. So being able to educate, and it's not dumb down the actual mechanics or the design of the game, but communicating it in a more effective way that clears out a lot of the fears. So it takes faith, it takes trust, it takes education, and then it takes a lot of effort from you to pull it out and make it happen. So at the end, we had the chance to talk to the leader of the event. I had the chance to talk to her. And she's one of the top 5 persons in Coca-Cola in the States. And she was like, I was very expectant, uncertain, nervous how this would come. And my expectations were totally exceeded. You guys knocked it out of the park. This was amazing. Everybody's loving it. And that was the takeout. So we thank LLL Agency for giving us the opportunity to take this to Coca-Cola and actually bring it to life and prove ourselves, yes, this is a fantastic service. This is amazing. And now LLA agency is in another level, and we're trying to take this to every single event, because I think everybody in America deserves to have a fun and engaging corporate event or engage this. This works too with general public. If you need in general, we got it. But also to facing the customers, it will be as effective.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so one last question.
Okay.
One last question.
Yes, sir.
And this is the question about the future of, right? That question of how do you see this in 10 years? And of course, when we play games, we all are always thinking from a strategic standpoint, right? And the strategy is about prediction. It's about understanding the information that you have available and trying to build the models of the future, right? And it's hard to think about the future of something when you have not lived it, right? And there are few really gamified events out there. There are not a lot. You can see events where they use games. That's a lot of that, but not gamified events where the whole event has a focus on game design to create social engineering and all of this, right? Having seen this in the present, right? Understanding what happened in the present and understanding that this might grow and mature because it's not mature enough right now, more than 10 years ago, but not enough. If I ask you, what would you think would be the future of gamification? Understanding new technologies, now AI is coming, and everything that's coming on. What do you think will be the future of gamification for live events and live marketing?
Wow. Okay. Okay. Good. And good thing you brought up the AI and all this, because we're all going through a period of awe, and we're amazed, scared, excited, and everything, because, oh my God, so much technology and we're gonna be replaced and all that. But I take it back to our childhood memories when we couldn't buy the next official D&D adventure. So you had to pull out like a regular notebook, say, okay, this is the castle, these are you, and this big black ball is a monster, you know? And if we were stuck in a deserted island and we had a notebook, we could play Dungeons and Dragons and have a good time. So I think this was one of the experiences in which I proved to myself and to a lot of people that technology is just a mean, but is not the core of it. So for the last 5 years, there's been like a technology race in which, okay, who has the coolest toy and the newest gadget and the biggest TV and the VR, but actually everything becomes available to everyone. So, oh, you got an Oculus? I can get an Oculus, and now what sets us apart, right? And then same with AI. We thought, okay, no, this is gonna be a secret weapon, and actually the AI developers have done it so well that it's available to everyone. So everyone can use AI, everyone can use all these tools. But what I saw is creativity is still innate to us, and these skills that we have built for so long are definitely one of, I'm not saying the only ones, but definitely having this type of creative technologies or creative services that are technology independent, because of the time constraint we have for this event. Oh, we would have loved to develop apps and scan this QR code. We had some of it, but very little.
Yeah.
It was very analog, like going back to the time where you were trading cards like a skill, like a kid in a schoolyard. Like that's the power of gamification when it's well designed. So I think, I don't know all the possibilities out there, but I think definitely gamification is one of the ways that agencies will have to embrace to set themselves apart and create real new experiences for people. Because you can give me the same table, the same canopy, couple banners, and we can deliver a different and entirely different experiences every time through game design. And this is proof of that. So I think that's the future of it. Have the same toys, create a whole different experience.
Yeah, and I think that's a great response in the sense, and I love that you point out that these are the same technological elements in each one of these boxes. You have boards and dice and cards, and the how you use them, the combination of in the design process is what brings the creative element to the table. So I think this can bring something really interesting in the sense of seeing new live events with new interactive possibilities.
Yes,
possibility interaction. I hope to be part of that future. I hope we are part of that future, and we are beginning in that road. And I think it will be really interesting to see where it takes us.
We already have a couple of things going on, so hopefully very soon we're gonna be showing you what's going on. So
thank you for having me.
Thank you for having me, Javier.
Hope you like this episode. We flipped it around, and see you next episode.
Thank you, Javier. See you next time.